Hey everybody, here we are. It's Monday night, and Donna is here from a very windy North Carolina. Um, we have a lot of wind here too tonight, Donna. Hi, Linda from Ravenna, New York, my friend, and Debbie is here from Glendale, Arizona. Jean from Mount Vernon, Washington. Hello, hello. And it sounds like somebody is really doing their best to be heard over here. Donna, I understand about the wind. We've got it here too. We've got, last I checked, they said 45-mile-an-hour gusts. That's just gusts. So I guess all in all, it's not too bad. We will get through it. The one nice thing about it is with everything starting to melt, it's drying up the water, but we are officially no longer in a drought. At least that's what the news told us today. Ronnie's here from warm and sunny northeastern Arizona. Hello. Lisa, how are you from Sugarland? And Elizabeth Preville from Lower Michigan, another Michigander. Welcome, welcome. Kay is here from Florida. Kathy is here from Florida as well. Evelyn from New Haven, Indiana, and Lee from Indiana too. Ronnie said she had a hard time finding me. I'm sorry for that. I don't know what where was it you were having a hard time finding me? Oh, that's enough. No, stop. Oh, Ruth Ellen is here from Northern Virginia. Hi, Ruth Ellen. So what we're looking at tonight is, yeah, this big flower in the center. And what is amazing about this big flower in the center is it's actually made with feathers. And of course, you all recognize this. That's the Spinifex 8 feather. And we don't really have them that small. So we're going to have to talk about some other way of putting a really small motif in there. But let's go ahead and let's start with the center first. Okay. Now, when I was doing this, what I realized is that because you all see that this center doesn't come together here. So we have to figure out how far apart these points are right here. And that's not too hard. Just measure them. They're a quarter, I'm sorry, they are a half an inch apart. So if they're a half an inch apart, what we want to do is we want to make a 1-inch square in the center. And then we will bring each of our points down to that square. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come from here up and here over. So I'm making a half a square, just like that. We're going to go ahead and lay the ruler back down, and we're going to make another half of a 1-inch square, and there we go. So we are going to have our points ending right here on these corners. And that is really going to give us a unique sort of flower. Okay. I really thought that was cool. I liked it. See who else has popped in here. Well, Linda Lombardo, my fellow Michigander. Hello. In case you haven't met, Elizabeth is also from Lower Michigan. So, Elizabeth, this is Linda. Linda, this is Elizabeth, Michiganders. Charlene's here from Colorado, and Susan is here from South Carolina waiting for next wave of rain and cooler weather. Ooh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Carla's here from this evening from Oklahoma City. Welcome, Carla. Good to see you. All right. I've got two cameras going tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to switch you over to the other camera. And there it is. Isn't that cool? I love it when a plan works out, don't you? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna take this out of there. And we are going to instead take a look at what size feathers we need to have. Now, this right here does not tell us the size of feather, so let's go ahead and measure it out. And it looks like it's going to be 2.5 inches from the inside to the point of this feather. So let's take a look at our templates. And the feathered leaf is the one that we're going to be looking at tonight. And we have it in 4 sizes. All I have to do is get into it. Sometimes I think these things are hermetically sealed. So, because I have this, we have actually got a really cool option because we can hold this up and take a look. Or we could even read the size here that says, what does that size say? Okay, 3-inch width. But that doesn't, and you know what? If we take a look at this, this is very, very close to where we want to be. It's much closer than the one that's a little bit larger. So let's go ahead and work with this one. And this is our going to be our 3-inch width. And again, this is the feathered leaf, the set of 5 templates. Hi, Rita. Oh, let me see who else has come in. Kathy's here. Oh, Kathy, I think they go from Monday to Monday. The Iris templates, those are artisan curve templates, and they are the art Iris set. Try it. Go ahead and give it a try. Okay. I'm not sure because it's supposed to go from Monday to Monday. And because there was some issues last week, I think Stacy said she might let it go a day or two further. So if you try tonight, maybe you'll get lucky. I hope so. I do. Judy is here from Wisconsin, and good morning, Rita from Northern Victoria. It's starting to get cooler here. Cooler there, I should say. And soon will be time to get the wood fire going. Yes, guys, Australia is going into their winter months as we are trying to get into our summer months, although up here it's not going so well. And Monica, hello from Illinois. Always a pleasure to see you, always. Okay, so let me see. There it is. And I want to make sure you've got, there is this set of templates that we're working on right now. So what we want to do, and we do need to make some more markings here. Now, we can go ahead and we can make them, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and make the lines this way. Whoops, you can't see. I need to switch off cameras again, okay? Let me go ahead. Okay, what we can do, I right now have set up my vertical and my horizontal center line. And in order to get this set of templates in the way we want them, and what did I do with it? I just had it out here. Yeah, there it is. The way that we need to set this up is going to be actually butting up this way. You see how it says center here? So what we want to do is we want to put a diagonal line in both ways. I could get my 8-point crossover ruler out and do it that way, or I can just go ahead and draw it out this way. And I'm only going from the corner to the corner. It's starting to look like another one of my algebra experiments, isn't it? Or homework. There we go. Again, just from the corner out. There we go. That looks pretty good. Is it perfect? Not really, but it's good. Okay, so let's switch back and we will go ahead and we will stitch it out. As soon as I put some thread into my sewing machine. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am was really hurrying to get here tonight. I had some other stuff going on that unfortunately took my attention away from this. Okay, this will just take a second or two. A lot easier with the self-threading machines, isn't it? Okay, cover your eyes. I have to turn my light on. There we go. We got it. What we're going to do is we're going to start on our point here, and we're going to end on our point. Okay, so I'm going to come here. You'll see I have my center on there, and want to make sure I've got my foot set. Oh, it's a little low. Yeah. Well, come on, you. There we go. There we go. I'm going to put my needle down, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you in just a little bit closer. And we're going to clear up that. There we go. Okay, questions. KS, will I be in Paducah? Hey, yes, I will be there. I will be in the pavilion. Hi, Kelly from Arizona. Elizabeth asked to please explain how I got the little square in the middle. Absolutely, no problem. So what I did was I first had, and we'll go ahead and take that out. I first had my crosshair, my vertical and my horizontal crosshair. I knew I wanted this, I don't know what that is, to be an inch square. So what I did was I put my ruler, I'm going to bring you in a little closer. Okay. I put my ruler so my half-inch mark was crossing over the horizontal space, and the half-inch mark was crossing over the vertical center. And then I just drew it out, made this half of the 1-inch circle. See, I started at 1 inch, went to the corner, came back down here to 1 inch, and then I turned my fabric and repeated that step. Mhm. Again, I laid my half-inch mark on my vertical center, half-inch mark on my horizontal center and came from my 1-inch mark and drew up or down from to my 1-inch mark. And that's how I got that 1-inch square. And you could take your 8-point crosshair ruler and make the diagonal lines. Whoops, wrong way, Corgan. I just chose to go ahead and run my straight ruler across and put the line down to the corners. I turned it and repeated. And that's how I came up with that goofy looking square in the center. Does that help, Elizabeth? Hopefully, I explained it well this time. Well, Regina, my friend, hello. It is so nice to see you. So happy you're here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my bobbin thread up right on that corner, on one corner of that 1-inch square. And up we go. Going to go ahead and put my needle back in the same spot that I just drew that bobbin thread up. I'm going to turn it this way so that you will have a really good vantage point of where we are. On each of these lines, we will do 2 plumes, and then we will have to break thread and move on to the next square. So we're going to do that 4 times for a total of 8 plumes. Hi, Mary Lou from Florida. Elizabeth, you're asking, but why? Okay, this is the reason why I'm putting it there. Let me go back and show you on the um, sample one more time here. We'll go back to the other camera. Okay, the square that I just drew represents this spot here in the design. So here's one corner, like down here, and each corner I'm going to come out and do 2 plumes off of each corner of that square. Okay, I hope that helps to answer that question. I'm going to show you how it's done right now, okay? There we go. I'm gonna back up just a smidge. All right. So what I want is I want 1 plume to come in this direction and 1 plume to come in this direction. And all things being equal, this plume might be a little short because what we want is we want this plume to meet on that horizontal line. So let me find the next biggest size. And I think, yeah, this is it. So So we're gonna work with this one first and see how that one, you know what? That one actually does work better. The only difference is we're going to have to take the center line off of the center. And the reason we want to do that, I want to keep my needle between this horizontal line on the template right here. It's over here and it's over here. And I'm going to get my spacing gauge out. So I want this to just meet. Actually, it's going to meet here, not here, right there. So we're going to come up, make one rotation. And here we go. Take that first stitch in place. Okay, I need to move these things out of my way. Remember, we're on an arc. I want you to get the best results you can on an arc will be done if you take smaller stitches. Don't forget to stop and adjust your hands as often as you need to. Stop, take one extra stitch. And the reason we're doing that is because that's a pointy area on top. And here we go. Nice and smooth, easy template to stitch. And it's going to bring us right back to that point on the square we drew in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other side as well. Okay. Mhm. Back up from there just a little. Again, this is important. I'm keeping this needle in line with this horizontal line on the template. Take your time. Shorter stitch length. If you need to stop and move things like I did there, it's best to be able to keep your hands on your work until the needle is in the fabric. Now, unfortunately, with this machine, I don't have a needle up, needle down function. So I have to figure all that out by myself. Okay. Get myself readjusted here. And we're going to come back down and meet that. There we go. This is our first set of plumes. Now remember, this is just a practice piece. I'm not going to bury threads. All right, there we go. Not too shabby. Let's take a look. Okay. Elizabeth said, I will start from the beginning when you are done. I'm sure you'll make it clear. I certainly hope so, Elizabeth. I do. Hi, Ronnie. Oh, Ronnie, I already said hi. You're talking to Debbie. Silly me. Hey, thank you. I'm glad you think that. That's pretty. It is pretty. I agree. Now we're going to do the same thing on the second dot that we made or the second corner. I'll go in, I'll pick up my bobbin thread. I'm sorry, I hate hitting the camera. You guys know how much I hate doing it. I do everything I can to avoid that. And you know what? It still happens. And you know what that tells me? I'm a klutz. Okay. Now, when I said it was really important to keep this needle on this horizontal line, this is why. Because we want the top leading edge to end up very close, if not touching. It doesn't matter. If it touches, it's great. If it doesn't, it's okay too. It really is. So what we want is that those two to end up as close as possible. So let me get a spacing gauge out here and let's see what we got, okay? I'm going to put my spacing gauge in like this. And by doing that, what I'm assuring myself is that This peak over here is going to meet or come very close to this peak here. It's not so much important if they meet on the line. What's important is that they're both the same height. What I mean by that, I don't want this peak to come up here and this peak to come down there. So if I have this needle lined up perfectly on this horizontal line, I'm almost guaranteed it's going to be perfect. And you know what? I had to adjust it maybe one stitch. That's okay. And if it's off by one stitch, you know what? That's okay too. It really is, guys. Okay, here we go. Stitch in place and off we go. Here we are. Perfect. Oh, I like how this is coming out. Now remember, we've talked about this before, and I do want to reinforce this. We won't always be exactly the same as what we see over um on our embroidered one. Reason being, there's a lot of variations there. Okay? And they're the variations that we have no control over. We can't do some of the variations with ruler work that is done with embroidery. That's okay. What we're doing is we're mimicking. We're not trying to copy. We're trying to mimic approximately what this is going to look like. We want it to be our own ruler work design. Okay, up and around. Remember to take that extra stitch at the top. Want that point to come out nice and sharp. I'm just going to turn it ever so slightly. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring me right back to that point. And again, I need to break thread, and it's okay. It's part of the design. I'm good with it. Rid of those threads. Make sure to remember to clip my bobbin thread. That's something I have a tendency to forget, but you guys know that. You've been watching me long enough now, right? Okay, so now we're going to take the next corner. There we go. Down we go. We have to line ourselves up again, remembering to keep that needle right between those that horizontal line there. Getting my spacing gauge. Well, that's not going to work, is it? Okay, so we're going to have to move it down just a little bit. There we go. And, I want to come back a little too. Actually getting, there we go. Well, goodness, my hands don't want to work. You keep going too far or not far enough. There. Finally got it, guys. I'm beginning to wonder here. Remember the sound of your machine when you are hitting your perfect stride. Get accustomed to that sound. I'm going to turn us this way and come in and meet that corner. Okay. How do you think it's coming along? It looks like my hairdo back back in the day, right? Oh, Linda Shell says that she sees lobster claws. You know what? So do I. Oh, Donna, what size template is this? This is a 4-inch feathered leaf, 4-inch. So let's get some more in. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thread out of here. Looks like helmet hair. Aquanet. Wow. Am I aging myself? I think so. Kissing dolphins. Oh, that's cute, Donna. Okay. Now this one we want to go this way. There we go. Now you guys got me all discombobulated with kissing dolphins and helmet hair and all this other stuff. Oh, you guys are too funny. All righty. There we go. First one's easy. All righty. Don't forget, keep those stitches a little smaller. Yeah, there we go. And around that nice soft curve, I'm going to put my needle down. I'm going to twist this around. The reason I'm going to do that is because you see right here where I'm at, if you take your spacing gauge, you will see we are out about 2 stitches. So if I twist myself right here, I can end this perfectly. And it will not look like a second guess. And this is what I'm talking about. How nice and smooth that is, opposed to here when I forgot to turn it. And I kind of got a wobble there. Wobbles are okay. I can live with a wobble now and then. And we have one more set to do. Isn't this pretty? I really like it. Let's go ahead and get our I like to get my thread up first, okay? The one we're doing tonight, I think is rather easy. Okay, mm, go ahead and get those guys in. There we go, and there we go. Now I'm gonna come up on the outside first, meaning this side, because it's easier for us to tip it, tip the template when we're coming back down the inside. I call this the outside, this the inside. So let's go ahead. I want to show you that little dip again. Okay, I'm going to stop right about there. It can be anywhere in here. I'm going to twist that template until my spacing gauge perfectly touches that corner. And there it is. And you cannot tell that I've done that. That is one of the nice things about these templates. We have so many opportunities to actually fudge them a little bit to make them into something that we want them to be, a little different than what they're already made for. That's okay. We're good at that. Lining my foot up. When I line that foot up, I am able to confidently come to the top here. Again, I'm going to start on this outside edge. Stop. Well, this one's just a little further away than the other ones are, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get crazy about it. Okay, now I'm about halfway down on the inside. I'm going to turn it again. I want you to clearly see this. I want my needle to end up right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my spacing gauge there, and I'm just going to twist it ever so slightly and right in the corner where I'm aiming for. Cool beans? Cool beans. There we go. That is the first portion of our design tonight. What do you think? Okay, let's take a look where we're at. Nancy, good morning from Australia. I hope you're doing well today. Okay, Carla says, okay, let's take a look at what Carla has to say. Aquanet could work for basting spray. It gets ballpoint ink out great. Wonder about friction ink. That's a good question. Carla, you find out and let us know if you can find Aquanet. I haven't seen any recently. I don't know if it's still on on the market or not. And Donna said if it worked for basting without gunking the needle up, it'd be much cheaper alternative. I think it would gunk it up though. It probably would. Because man alive, I know when I put that stuff in my hair enough to hold the style back, then I had to wash it 3 times to get it all out. Mm, okay. So the next thing we need to look at, and we do want these fellas to stay out for a while. So I'm going to set him over here. And we're going to go back over to the other camera. Okay. So what we need to look at next is to come out to these little flourishes here. And these are just really tiny feathers. Now, I'm not sure if our feathers get that small. If they don't, that's not a problem. Okay, because we can just make them a little bigger because it's our quilt and we can do that, right? So let's go ahead, head back to the other camera. There it is. And let's go ahead and stitch this out. Now you'll notice that we actually come out this way with our edge to edge. So let's go ahead and get those out. We have been using this set with every Monday night, and it is so versatile. It really is. It allows us to go in so many directions, so many ways, and I love it. So I'm going to go back to the other camera here. The reason being is I want to, oh, this is the one we're looking at. There we go. Let's take a look. Is it this one or is it this one this way? This one would work. Absolutely, this one would work. However, look at here. What I'm seeing here is that this is an absolute shadow of this. So this one and this is going to be edge to edge connector 1. We're going to use B, but we're going to use it upside down. So let's go ahead and come over to the other side here and let's do it. Just going to get this one set aside for now. We're going to start right in the center of this motif, or in the, actually, it's not in the center. It's in the corner of the 1 inch square. Okay. And here we're going to go. We're just going to bring it out to this point. This is one of the reasons, guys, that I suggest you always put staple tape on both sides of this template. If you think you're not going to use both sides, I think you might find out different in the future. And this is exactly how it is stitched out. Easy or what, right? Very easy peasy. Nice, smooth curves. So now what we want to do is we want to take a couple feathers and just have them come one out on each air in each direction here. Okay, I'm just looking here because I have to back up and I don't want to back up over any dogs. Good Lord knows I've got enough of them. Okay. Nice thing about the feathered leaf set, this set here that we're using, comes with finials. I love the finials. Whoops, this direction. There we go. Love those little finials. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to take the smallest leaf that I have. I'm just going to put one going to the left and one going to the right. And we'll start with the one on the right. I'm going to go ahead and move it down. Again, like I did with the other one, what you're going to notice is there is a little space here on these. What I want is I want this to close up. So I'm going to come around, and when I get to here, I'm just going to twist this template ever so slightly, and it is going to close up that leaf. Here we go. That looks like something's my foot came loose. That's what's going on. There we go. Take my extra hesitation stitch up there. Okay, now we're going to stop right about here. And I'm going to turn it. Now, I normally wouldn't do that, but I am going to so you can see how this is going to work. And where I want this to come is right here. So I'm going to just twist it ever so slightly. And there it comes. Closes right up perfectly. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and they don't have to be perfect, okay? Nature's not perfect. The other thing that I've noticed in my own stitching is if it's a smaller motif that I'm working with, if it's a smaller template, I'm sorry, that I'm working with, a smaller rotation, what I do like to do is I like to keep the stitches in line with the size of the template. In other words, a smaller template means to me to be smaller stitches. I want things proportionate, and that's how we keep them proportionate. Excuse me. Smaller stitches is always going to work well with a smaller template. Now, don't misunderstand me. When we have a big template like this, or a small template like this, the big template, I tell you, shorten up those stitches because you're going on curves. These are two total and separate different things. If I'm doing a small template, and this one happens to have curves too, but I'm going to automatically do this whole template with a little smaller stitch because it fits the size of the template. I'm going to shorten my stitch somewhat on this template because of the curves. Am I going to have the same stitch length on this one as I have on this one? Probably not. And if you look right here, you can see that I have fewer stitches per inch here than I have here. This is a little larger. Even though it's on a curve, it's going to be shorter than a stitch I would normally do if I was stitching all straight lines. Along those lines now, I want to throw one more ball up in the air. And that is the whole design or the design as a whole. If I'm making real tiny stitches here, not real tiny, but if I'm making smaller stitches here, I'm probably going to keep it consistent with the entire design. No matter how many different templates we use, I'm going to keep that smaller stitch length throughout the entire design. What that is consistency. What is important when we are doing our stitching and our designs is consistency. Okay. If you're going to do a really a large stitch, go ahead and do it through the whole design. If it's all linear, if it's curves, you're just going to want to pull that back just a little bit. Does that make any sense? Okay, Diane, welcome from Chicago. And Suzanne finally made it. Oh, Suzanne, I'm so glad to see you. Betty is here from Oregon, and Paula made it from South Carolina. Welcome, welcome. We are having fun tonight with our feathers. So let's take a look at where we're going to go next. I'll switch over to cameras. And there we go. So next, what we have to do, we have just finished this. So we're going to go ahead and travel up here, and we're going to put another connector here. Let's see which connector that might be. Whoops, I think I got the wrong one. Mm, This will work perfectly. That one won't. Mm, this one would work here too. And you can see how why I'm saying that. Here is the stitching. If we came here, here is the stitching as well. All right, but this one, you see how many different options we have, guys? It's nuts. It's crazy how many different options we have. Okay, so I'm thinking the A is going to be the better of them. We're going to go ahead and start here, and we're going to actually come off when we hit here. So what my thought process is here, I hope you can see this all. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start here. We're going to come down to about here and move the template up and then stop here. Okay, so that's how we can make our connectors longer or shorter. So let's go ahead and go back to our stitching camera. Uh-oh. Neighbors' puppies are outside and mine just heard them. Okay, we have two different ways that we can stitch this out. One, we can travel along the just travel. Or two, we can put our template back on and use the template to travel. And let's go ahead and do it that way. Okay, there we go. Take one stitch in place, make sure I'm on my line, nice and slow, nice and even. Okay, need to adjust, and this will happen. Yep, there we go. Whoa, there we go. That's the last stitch of the template. We can take this template off now and out and back in. And this is going to come relatively close here. And we're going to stop with our needle down. We're going to go ahead and push that template up, and we're going to finish right here with our needle down. You cannot tell that that template was lifted. This is the one thing I really, really like about these. All right. What we have next. Does anybody recognize this? This is a Spin Effects feather 8, but it's a small one. We don't have one like that, do we? Well, actually, we kind of do. It's bigger than that, but it's smaller than the smallest one we can get in the set. And this came with our last Elevate box. So let's go ahead. I'm going to make sure to get all these things out of here. Let's go ahead and use this little fellow. Now I'm going to go ahead and break thread. Normally I wouldn't do this when I was doing um, a project, but because this is showing you how to put things together, we're going to do that, okay? Here is a point crosshair ruler. Now you'll notice here we actually did not come into this motif. This line ended up at the outside edge of one of these plumes. So let's make it that plume. Okay, get my pencil out here. We're going to draw some lines. Up we go. And when we're doing it on the fly like this, it's never perfect when we draw our lines. That's okay. Mm, this way. I almost wanted to go on the cross side there, the 45-degree line. There we go. What do you think of all these tonight, guys? Are we just kind of fun stuff, isn't it? Paula's here from South Carolina. Welcome, Paula. I'm not sure if I said hi to you or not. If I did, hi again. If I didn't, it's so nice to have you. And don't forget, okay, we all have our 20% coupon for our deal day 20. All right. Now, this one's going to be a little tricky because coming over on this side here, you'll see I'm pretty close to the edge. That's okay. I'm not going to start on that side. I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to pull my thread up, my foot and my needle back down, and we're going to come over here. And what I'm going to do, turn it so you can see it. I'm going to stitch over to A. Ooh, look at how close we're coming here. That's okay. That's all right. It's perfectly okay. I'm going to come over to A, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate my template. There are several different ways of doing this one. And quite honestly, I find I'm doing it differently every time. It's like, is that the way it's supposed to be? Well, you know what? As long as it works, it's the way it's supposed to be, right? And we're going to stop. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and first we're going to cut these threads off. And the nice thing about this design is you can cut your threads off because this area right here is going to be stitched over many times, and it will definitely keep the inside locked down. Okay, I'm going to come down to B, then back up to A. Up and around and stop. Nice that we have these little lines here to tell us that we are going in the right direction. We're lined up good. There we go. This one might come in just a little bit. If it does, I'm just going to pick those stitches out later. They'll be fine. It will be just fine. Yeah, you know what? Guys, I really seriously, there's only half a stitch there. Okay, I did not plan that. I'm not really that good. Okay, we're gonna do a little smooshing here. Smooshing is allowed. Back down to center. Perfect. And back up to B and around to A. And with my needle down, gonna line myself up again. I love as long as these lines are all where they belong, you're not gonna go wrong. Whoops, unless you do that. Oh goodness. Now I don't even know what that was. Okay. We'll just go ahead and pick that out later, okay? TV timer, right? Okay, here we go. Just a couple more, and we will have this portion of this completed. And around to A, we're going to stop. Whoops, I'm sorry. We only have two more of those to go. Up and around to A. Don't forget to make sure your needle is down. And this will be the last rotation on with this feathers, Spinifex Feather 8. And this, remember, is a 3 inch. This is a little guy. There we go. And this is going to come around and just touch that first rotation that we put in. Isn't that gorgeous? Love this. Absolutely love it. Okay. So the last thing we have to do on this side is to let me just change cameras. Here, right here. We're going to put a finial on top of this. Okay. So let's find out which connector we're going to use. Mhm. Not that one. Could it be this one? You know what? It looks pretty close. Or could it be not that one? No, actually, it's got to be this one. This one is pretty close. You'll see. It was used basically, where did my, there it is. It was used from around here to around here. Now we could put arrows on there to make sure that we get where we want to be to go on to the next one. But you know what? We don't have to be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and go back to our stitching camera. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And let's grab our finials. Yay, we could use the finial. Oh, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and come out of here. Hold that bobbin thread up. Okay, and just come out away. Wrong way. There we go. I'm going to start here because I don't want to go over that plume right there. There we go. So now because I want it shorter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make sure my needle is down. And then I'm going to just slide the template down and come around that curve. Okay, I am exaggerating it just so you can see how easy that is to do. And we'll get our little finial here. Do we need a crosshair on this? Not really. It's just one finial. And we're going to start at one side and we're going to end at the same side. So we're going to start it down here. Come up and around. Take that extra stitch up here for the point. And come back down right there and it meets again. And there's our little finial. Isn't that cute? I guess there was a bigger one on that guy, but well, you know, if we wanted to, what we could do, we could echo them. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead. We're just going to make a design choice here. Oh, and I was going to say, where did I put that? But it is right here. We're just going to go one size because we have 4 different sizes of finials here. Come in here. You know what I didn't do? I didn't make sure that I was on the side with the stable tape. I actually kind of like that though. It's kind of cool. Unintended, but pretty cool all the same. So that's what happens when you don't use stable tape. Oh, so there we have some designs tonight. I certainly hope that you like it and that you've enjoyed the content. Don't forget to use coupon code DealDay20. We're going to go ahead and there we go. We'll put the feather leaves back in. Donna says it looks like a bud, and you know what? I think you're right, Donna. It does look like a bud, doesn't it? I'll go ahead and put this over here so that we can see it without sewing machine being in the way. There we go. Make sure I'm going to turn it the right way here. There. So this is what we've done tonight. Um, Susan says it's another winner. You're welcome, Linda, and thank you, Susan. It's so much fun, isn't it? So glad you're here, Lee. Oh, yes. Donna says, I love it, Donna. You are so sweet. Hit the like button, and if you're ordering, do it from the link above. I really do appreciate that, Donna. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, everybody. It is so fun to come in here on Monday nights. And you have a good evening too, Ronnie. It's a little earlier where you are at. Donna likes that center design. And you know what? As I was looking at that center design, I was thinking of a few other things that I think I'm going to try with this template in that center. I, I think it could be a lot of fun. So what have we got on the calendar for the rest of this week? My goodness, I'm still on last week's calendar. Can you believe it? Okay, so tonight we did F4. And tomorrow evening we are going to do the mini Baptist fan. And Wednesday morning we start our Spin Effects series. And we are going backwards. So we will begin with Spinifex 16, which is always kind of fun. It's going to be exciting to see what we have done. Um, what else have we got going on this week? The Circles and Hearts class. We have our third class for that. And we're just getting ready to go to Paducah. There is so much to be done. So I hope that any of you that are in the area, we get to see you while we're there. Thank you, Rita. It's my pleasure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So Steady uh, Facebook or YouTube channel and the 906 Quilting YouTube channel. Videos will remain for 30 days on both Facebook platforms. They will remain indefinitely at this point on the YouTube channels. So you always will want to come back to that YouTube channel. I appreciate you being here. You're giving me your time. It definitely warms my heart and makes it smile. So until we meet again, let's quilt.